This is Irontrader, and this is midday trading. So I want to take a look at some stocks here. Okay, we'll take a look here at NVDA, at Salesforce, CRM. We'll look at Tesla, Hewlett-Packard, DELL, and Costco. Now remember, NVIDIA will have the numbers, and same way with Salesforce tomorrow after the close. Same way with Hewlett-Packard. And then on Thursday, you're going to have that Costco, and you're going to have a DELL. So it should be a very, very interesting week. Okay, this video is for information purposes only, not a recommendation to buy, sell, stock, commodity, ETF. Please like, subscribe. Thanks for watching. All right, here we have NVIDIA. Now, the earnings are coming out here after the close tomorrow. Okay, so got one more good day here. So we got to see. I think a lot of traders here are watching and seeing what's going to go on here. Now, I read an article. There's like $7 trillion sitting on the sidelines. So we got to see what kind of numbers are going to have. Now, remember, they're going to take about a $4.9 billion charge. So that's always going to be in the numbers. But that's not really going to matter. That's already announced. But what we're looking for is the guidance and going forward. That's going to be the key. Okay, so let's take a look at the old charts. Now, what do we got here? 137.40 is what we're looking at, and that's the top of this candle. Okay, so now this is a very, very nice, easy, clean trade here. Okay, so if we can break above, okay, this 137.40 level, okay, then what we're going to be doing is the next level we're going to do is we're going to be right here at the top of this candle. We're looking at that 138.59, and then we just bring this price channel right across here. What do we got? You got 141.46, and then we bring this channel going across here. You got 143.44. Then we'll come right over top of this candle here. We're looking at 147.79, and then we bring this channel across. We got right there 148.97. Now, we always want to look to the left of the chart here. That's going to be very key. That's your 149.77, and it will come up to the top here, 152.89, and then your big breakout is 153/retest 13. Okay, but you have to get and close above this key price channel, which is this 137.40. But look how nice this layers up. See, this is why I use these blue lines are just price channels. So as it's coming down, okay, all the way on down, it leaves them resistant levels all the way on up. Look how easy it makes it. All you got to do is bring them right across, and those are going to be your resistance lines, and that's going to be your upside targets, okay? Very, very simple. Now, here on the downside, we're watching this 8-day. This is going to be key. Okay, at 133.88. That's what we're going to be watching. Then your next level here, we'll be looking here to Friday's low. You're looking at that 129.16. And then we're going to be start getting into this 200 SMA here, 126.31. And then we have your 21-day at 123.36. And then we have this 122.18 level. And then we come down to that 115 level. But let's take a look here. So there's a lot of good support. Okay, a lot of good support. Well, let's just take a look at some of their earnings, okay? So right here, we had the earnings, okay? Came right on out here, boom, sold right on off, okay? Here's another earnings, came up here, sold right on off, okay? Then we had another earnings, came up here, and sold right on off. So always look to the past. Now, I'm not saying that's what's going to be in the future, but look in the past here. What it's done in the past, a lot of times what I do is I always sell half the position before on the day of, okay? And then I see how it trades in the after hours. I sell the other half, or maybe even the next day situation. But I say, if we don't want to get stuck with this, okay, because you can always buy this back. That's the beauty of stocks, okay? It's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like a bus. You know, I used to say girls, but the wife doesn't like that. But there's always another one coming around, okay? So that's what you have to look at. So never get stuck here at the top. Oh, I'm just going to add to the position and other thing. No. You want to dump that and even do a little short ski coming all the way down if this sells off. Now, an easy way to short this is NVDS, okay? Easy way to take the NVIDIA on the short sides, okay? So two-way trade going on here. So let's see how it shakes out. Now, when we look at the RSI here, well, we got here to an overbought condition, and now we're pulling back. So we got to see how this shakes out. But what I'm looking for on this RSI here is this: if this rallies and breaks on up here, but this RSI stays below that 70 mark, you could get a possible negative divergence going, and that would not be good. Okay, eventually it will sell off. Now, the green is still over your red. We're going to get a little sideways action. So let's just see how this all shakes out. So watch that 8-day on the downside. If we lose that, we have that 200-day, 21-day, 100-day. A lot of key support around this 122, 23 area. Then we come down to that 115 level here, okay? Now, there is a gap. So I want to show you. You look at the bottom of this candle, you got 110.82, and then we look to the top of this candle here at 108.92. So there's a gap in the fill before you hit that 104 level. Okay, there's another gap and fill down here too, but let's just see if all the support level will hold. Okay, let's take a look here now at Salesforce. Okay, here we have Salesforce CRM. So their earnings are coming out there tomorrow. There after the close, right? Like NVIDIA's there. Now you can see we had this really nice, good run up here. Then what we did is we put a double top here. See, 369, and then what do? We retested it here, and we had 367.09. Okay, see this double top situation, and then what? Boom! Once she gets underneath the 8-day, kiss your ass goodnight, because she's going to come right on down, and that's exactly what it did. Now, we put a nice good double bottom here, we gapped up, and now we're rolling all the way on up. Now, what we're watching on the downside, if we want to watch that 50-day, that 270.16, that's going to be very, very key, okay? If that's lost here, we're going to come down to this price channel, which is basically just the bottom of that candle. That's that 263 flat. Now, there is a gap. So if this does sell off here, watch this gap right here. This is 249.50. And then watch this fill right here, okay, at 244.22. Your gap and your fill. And then we have the retest down here at 235. And then we can come all the way down to the bottom of that candle at that 230 flat level. Okay, but that's only if we lose this 50-day on a closing basis. Then always look for the gap in the fill kind of a situation. So if it does sell off, when you go into the gap, a lot of times that'll hold. But once it starts going into that fill, then it usually wants to fill the candle and go to that next level. Now, upside here, we ought to watch that 21-day, 279.38. That's very, very key. Next level is 284.05. And then we have 100-day up here at 294, and then we have your 200-day at 295. Okay, so there's a lot of resistance on the upside. The 21-day, 8, 100-day, and 200-day right up here. Now, again, if you can crack above that, all this resistance, then all we do is look how nice you just bring the price channels right across. Look how nice that is, okay? See? 298 level, then we come up here, okay? You got 303 level. We come right on top of this candle here. You got 313. Just keep right on following all the way up here until we get to a retest of 369, okay? But right now, we have decided exactly. We've got to see how those earnings are going to play out there tomorrow. Now, RSI never really got to an overbought condition like we had here, okay? See, now here's a perfect example of negative divergence. See how we had this high, okay, high. Then we had an even higher high, but we had a lower high, okay? See this? See this negative divergence going on here, okay? And then what happens? Boom, down goes Fraser, just like that. Boom, right on down. So always watch that RSI. It's not just relative strength, but it has that nice divergence, and I trade that all the time, and it works really, really good. Now, your green crossed over your red here, but that doesn't mean that I can't curl up here if we have some good numbers. Okay, let's take a look here now at Tesla. Okay, here we have Tesla. Now, in Europe, they are down 49% on these Teslas. BYD, China BYD, is kicking Tesla's ass in Europe. And so we got to see. But remember, Tesla is not just a car company. Okay, it's an AI trade. It's a self-driving. It's a SpaceX. It's whatever else. You might even have a taco truck inside there somewhere. So, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. Okay, I'm saying, or maybe even like a brick-fired pizza truck or something going on in there. So he's got a lot of stuff going. So it's not just a one car company kind of a situation. It's more like a tech kind of a trade. Okay, so what we're watching here on a closing basis is we're watching this price channel at that 354.99 level. Okay, so if we can get above that, okay, then we have some really nice targets here. Okay, your next target, you just bring that price channel right across, and what do we have? 367.34 level. Okay, then we just bring this channel right across. What do you got? You got 380. Okay. Then just follow this all the way up here. You got 394. Okay. Now there is a gap. Okay. So when you look at this 394, there's your gap. And then we look to the bottom of that candle at that 401.34. Okay. So 389, 394. I mean, there's your gap. And then we look right here at the bottom at 401. There's your gap and then your fill. And then we can just bring the other price channel and work yourself all the way on up here. You got 419. We come up top of this candle here. You got 439. And then we just work yourself all the way up here, 465, until we hit that 488 level. But again, we are at this overbought kind of a situation here. So we got to see how that all going to shake out. Okay, so always remember that. See, now here's just the opposite where there's no divergence. See where we had this high, okay, and then we made a higher high and we made a little bit higher high here. Okay, so there is no divergence, negative divergence going on. That was going here. So I just always want to show you when you look at that RSI, always want to look at where you see a high, and then if you see a lower high and you see a higher high than that on the old candles, that's when you want to do a little short ski or go up. Now, easy way to short Tesla is TSLS. Real easy trade. Okay, now on the downside here, what we're watching is we're watching this level right here, 243.81. Now we do have a gap. Okay, so today's low is 347. Okay, that's what you want to watch, and then we want to watch Friday's high at 343. Say 347 gap on fill is 343, but we have that 8-day sitting right there at 343.88. Now, if that's lost, we're going to come to the bottom of this candle here at that 331 level. And then we have Ohondo here at 315. We have your 21-day at 313. And then we come down here all the way down to your 200 SMA at 300. And then we have the 50-day all the way down at 379. So we have a lot of good support here. Now, remember, this is like a meme stock. This doesn't really follow, you know what I'm saying? So if this stock gets hammered like it got down here, that's really a buying opportunity for Tesla, okay? Again, this is a lot more than just a car company here, okay? So on the upside, just watch that key level. That's going to be that 354.99. We crack above that. We just bring the price channels across, and those are all your upside targets for your price and your upside resistance levels. Downside, just watch that 8. If we lose that, we're going to come to the bottom of this flat line here. But realistically, that consolidation, but we're really going to be looking for that 100-day and that 21 SMA. Okay, take a look here now at Hewlett-Packard. Okay, here we have Hewlett-Packard now. The earnings will be out tomorrow after close. I haven't traded Hewlett in a long, long time. But again, I have laptops, I have monitors. I think it's a great product, okay? Now, this is a really, really kind of an interesting trade here, okay? Because what we have here, if you look at the bottom of this candle, okay, we have this 27.56. There's your gap. And then we want to look to the top of this candle right here at that 26.92. So you have your gap, and then we have your fill, but we have this 21-day. This is going to be key support 27.29. 26.47 is going to be your 50-day, and then we can retest all the way down here to your 24.92. Now, there's another gap all the way down here, looking at 24.49, and then we look at the fill at that 24.25 level, okay? So we have a gap and a fill there. We have a gap now all the way down here to right on top of that, and so we got to see how that all shakes out. Now, on the upside here, we're watching this key 8-day, okay? So 28.69, that's what you're looking for. And then we're going to be coming up here to the 100-day sitting at 29.40. Now, again, if we can get a bust above that, we have this 200-day sitting at 32.48. Now, there's a big gap. Look at up here, okay? Look at here. It looks like old toothless here, okay? So look at this gap here, okay? So you got 31.43 level. There's your gap. And then we look to the bottom of this candle right here at 33.90. There's your fill, okay? So realistically, if we start getting into this gap, you got to watch that 200-day. We get a little bit smidge above that, then we're going to come right to that gap fill, okay? And then we can just follow the candles right on up here. But right now, we just have this sideways consolidation. So really, what we're trading here is that 21-day. On the downside, if that's lost, we look right to the 50-day, okay? Now, on the upside, we're looking at that 8-day. If we can get above that, then we're looking right to the 100-day. Now, we got to a little bit of a overbought condition, and now she's coming on down. We have like a sideways action. Same way with this, we just have like a sideways action. But we did get to an oversold area, and that's where it was a buying opportunity to take it up long. Okay, it's not really my kind of stock, but I just want to make sure that I show you in case you are trading it. Okay, let's take a look here now at DELL. Okay, here we have DELL. Okay, and here's another one I haven't traded in a while. Now we got to this, we're still like in an overbought situation going on here. Okay, we got to the oversold and we had a really nice run up here. But look at this 8-day, crossed over everything, really nice. 21 days crossing up here. So right now we just have this sideways consolidation. So on the downside, we want to watch that 112.93. That's your 8-day, and then right below it we have that 110.80, which is basically your 200-day. Now, if we get below that area, then we're going to be looking here for this 103. That's at 21-day, and then we look for a 100-day at 101, and then we have your 94.92 below that, okay? But right now, we just have this sideways consolidation. Now, if we can crack above this 116 level, okay, then what we're going to be doing is we're going to bring this price channel right across here. What do we have on top of that candle, okay? So you got 117.45. That's your next level. Okay, then we'll come up top of this candle, 122.26, okay? And then we're going to come over here to the top of this candle here, 125.77. And then we have this another gap, okay? So look at the top of that at 129.65. That's going to be your big target. Now, if it starts going into the gap, then we have to look at the bottom of this candle here, that 140.121, there's your fill, okay? So your gap and your fill if it gets up to that area. But right now, we have to get and close above this 116.13 to make that happen. Okay, so that's what you want to watch on the upside. If we can, we just bring this price challenge right across, okay? And that's going to be our targets there until we get to the old gap, okay? Downside, you just want to watch that 8-day and this 200-day. And you need to hold that. If not, you're going to come right down here to this 21-day. Now, there is also a gap here. And you look at the bottom of this candle here, you got 101, okay? There's your gap. And then we look at the top of this candle here is your fill at 97.94, okay? So there is a lot of gaps. The stock is pretty choppy, and we're over to this overbought situation. So we got to see how this all going to shake out. Okay, so let's just see how that shakes out. Now your RSI looking okay. Your green over your red shows momentum to the upside, but I think she's getting a little bit, what do you say, long in the old tooth. Okay, let's take a look here now at Costco. Okay, here we have Costco. This is one of my, this is a really one of my favorite trades. Simple reason is a lot of times when the earnings come in, okay, the stock will sell off. Okay, so let's just check the earnings. Okay, so here's an earnings situation, and then it came right on down. Here's another earnings situation, and it sold right on off. Here's another earnings, kind of flatline kind of a situation. Okay, so what you really do is, I'm a long-term holder of this, okay? So how I trade is I have long-term that I've had for years, okay? I do swing trades, and then I also do day trades, okay? So the day trades are basically cash flow, so you want to start making money at Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, all the way till you get to Friday, and then when you get to Friday, you say, holy shit, look at the pile of cash I got here, okay? So those are day trades, okay? Now, when you look at Costco, this is really, you know, a great stock, okay? And it's running up very nicely. Okay, so look at this. You got the bottom left, and it just all the way to the right. It's just solid, you know, very good trading stock kind of stock here. Okay, so what I always look at is I'll look at this 8 SMA here. See how that 8 SMA bottom left, upper right. Look at the 21 day. Look how nice this is following. Okay, so when that 8 days lost, where does it come? Right to the 21 day. 8 days lost, right down to the 21 day. So you got to respect this 21 day here on a holding and a closing basis. So you want to watch that 1009. That's going to be very key. Now, if that's lost here, well, we can come down here to the top of this candle, 99.80. 86 here. Then we'll come to the bottom of here. You're looking at 983. But realistically, what you're looking at then is this 100 SMA here at 979, and that 50 day at 972, and even at 946, which is your 200 day. I wish your stock would split. That'd be a lot better off. Okay. Now on the upside, we're watching that key 1021, and then if we can break above that, we're going to do the retest at 1039 level. Okay. So if we can get above that, okay. Here's what we have right here. We just bring this price channel across. We're looking right there, okay? 1,050, and then we'll come up here. You're looking at 1,066, and then we have your big retest at 1,078. Now, obviously, if you crack that, you're going to go to that 1,100, okay? That's just very simple here. But this is really a nice, good chart here. We had a double bottom. See where we had this double bottom, ran up, came down, and when we held, even though we went lower, we closed above that double bottom, and that was a really nice take to go long here. But again, we're going into earnings, so you got to be a little careful here. I don't know if the tariffs are going to affect them, or be like Walmart with their bullshit tariffs that they have. I was over to Home Depot over the weekend, and I talked to the salespeople there, and I talked to this girl. I said, "The tariffs affecting you?" She says, "No, not in the absolute least." Okay, business is great. I went over to Lowe's. Talked to another girl there, what she said. I said, tariff affected? No, not in the absolute least. That's all. Walmart is just trying to gouge your ass. That's all they're trying to do. They don't let them kind of fool you here on the, raising prices. That's all nonsense, okay? So right now we have a nice bottom left, upper right-hand corner, but respect this key 21 day here because how many times that it has held it, okay? That's very key. Again, if it's lost, we have 100 day, 50 day, and we come down to the 200 day. Upside at 1,039. We close above it, then we can just ride the wave until we get all the way to that 1,078 level. RSI here, we're looking very good. That could go a good run up here. We just have sideways action. Same way here at your MACD. This is still looking very good situation. Okay, now we got a little bit overbought here back then, and obviously it just sold off after that. But we're holding it. Costco's a very good play. Okay, that's what I got for you. And I'll be back here after the pit close, and we'll take a look here at Bitcoin, crude oil, natural gas, gold, silver. And then we always look at the old indexes, the S&P, the NASDAQ, and the Dow. All right, trade what's in front of you, not what you want.